What's Up Award TV. This is a self-help weekly podcast featuring genuine people much like yourself. People who share their intricate perspectives on love, life, relationships, business, and everything in between. Our motto on this show is everybody has a story to tell, but we just want to know, what's yours? Of course, there's nothing new under the sun, but hearing how someone else dealt with a story or a situation and how they endured that, it may be comforting to you and let you know you're not alone. But don't take my word for it. Listen to What's Up Aboard TV wherever you get your streaming services at. Welcome back to What's Up Aboard TV and What's Up Aboard the podcast. My name is Wardy Ward, and I'm the host of this self-help educational podcast that can be found on YouTube, Pandora, Apple TV, or wherever you get your streaming content. Our motto on this platform is everybody has a story to tell, but I just want to know, what's yours? As always, I encourage everyone to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and follow What's Up Aboard TV on YouTube so you can hear our current and past episodes. I want to start out with an interesting fact before I jump into it. As of July 1st, 2023, the number of people incarcerated in Indiana was as follows. Adult male offenders were 20,779, which is 13% below the operational bed capacity. Adult female offenders were 2,072, which is 33% below the operational bed capacity. And the juvenile male offenders was at 312, which is 22% below the operational bed capacity. And juvenile female offenders was 48, with 23% being under operational bed capacity. These individuals are placed at various locations throughout the state, but have you ever wondered how do their family get to reach to them or interact with them if they don't have a lot of money or reliable transportation? Well, look no further. You came to the right place today because my guest today is going to shed some jewels on this situation that can help you or somebody you may know. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming my guest today, Miss Cecilia Whitfield. How are you doing today?
I am doing well. I'm very excited to be part of your show this afternoon. Thank you so much for having
Well,
us.
yes, I'm glad you're here as well. Um, can you give your elevator speech to our listeners to tell us who you are, a little bit about you, while I switch to my glasses here? Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm Cecilia Whitfield, and I'm the founder of Use What You Got Ministry. And I know a lot of you may say, where did the name Use What You Got come from? Well,
Mhm.
36 years ago, when my son committed armed robbery, I was visiting him, another young man, and felt families were asking for a ride. So I asked, doesn't the state of Indiana provide transportation for the families? Because my son is facing 40 years and he was
Mm,
already in jail. So the answer was there's no transportation for us, for the families. So
mm.
as I was riding home, the Lord laid on my heart to start a prison shuttle bus for the families of the incarcerated. And when I told my mother, I said, Mama, I'm going to start a prison shuttle bus, but I only have a general diploma. I didn't go to school
Mm.
to do this. I work for Indiana Bell. And back then, you can, long distance operator didn't have to have a master's degree. So I said, I have a general diploma. She said, oh, just use what you got. So
Mm.
I've named it, Use What You Got. So we started the only transportation in the state of Indiana, taking families, we are called the hidden victims, to 18 different correctional facilities throughout the state of Indiana. I had no one to show me what to do, how to do it. I had to
Wow.
with all of this on my own. So
Oh my goodness.
yes.
That's a mouthful. I want to go back and look at a couple of those things you said um, before we get into the weeds of your ministry, because this is something that's definitely needed, and I got so many questions on it. But so just to be clear, you grew up in Indianapolis, is that correct?
Yeah. I grew
Born
up
in
in Lockfield. Back in the 50s and the 60s, that was the projects. So I
Rockville?
Rockfield Gardens, yes.
Huh.
It is now IUPUI. They own all of that property over there, and the students live in Lockfield Gardens. But in the 50s and 60s, that was the projects for the poor people.
Okay. Now, did you grow up with both parents over there?
No, my mom and dad divorced when I was 3. And so it was only my mother and I that grew up, that
Mm,
lived in Lockfield, and she only had finished the ninth grade.
okay.
So we understand the struggle of
Hmm.
no transportation, no resources. Her mother had died when she was 12, so she had nothing. So it was just the two of us. So we understand how you just don't know what to do. You have no transportation, you're on the bus, and you're just depending on whatever you can.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so just the two of you guys. So where was your dad at? Where was he at in the picture?
Dad and mom divorced. He ran away.
Oh, okay.
Ran away. He was
Mm.
sort of an abusive father. He liked to fight my mom
Oh no.
and a lot, and then he had a few extra kids while he was still married
Oh,
to my mother.
oh my.
Yeah, so they divorced when I was 3. So I grew up in a pretty rough area, and it's been difficult. It was difficult
Mm.
growing up. So I think that's what keeps me enjoying helping the families because I know exactly what they're facing, what they're going through. The families are called hidden victims.
Yeah, hidden
No
victims.
one had thought about the families back 30
Hmm.
years ago. So we've been doing this 36 years.
36 years.
36 years.
Okay. I mean, wow. So you saw it growing, going this long, or what was you, when you started out? What was you thinking? How long was it supposed to last?
I really thought because I was the only one in the state that I had a job, my husband worked at Lily's, that someone was going to come in and take it. Is
Mm.
what I thought because I worked there. And so I just thought, well, I started and someone with some money will come in to take this and take it to where it needs to go. And
Hmm.
that never happened. So I drove for 19 years myself. And then because I was driving, I began to enjoy being with the families. We could communicate. We was a support to each other. We understood what we were feeling. My son had did armed robbery with a shotgun. He would been on drugs. And so I understood the pain that most of the families face. We were like I said, we're called the hidden victims. No one thought about the families back then. So we started this 1988. My son
Mm.
graduated from Bishop Shator High School,
Yeah, Shatara. Okay.
and then by August he was facing uh, 40 years for armed robbery.
Whoa. Oh, so he was fresh out of high school.
Yeah, he had gotten on drugs,
Oh my God.
and so
Now, what year was that?
in
When he
1988.
1988 when he okay, yeah.
August of 1988. So it became healing for me because whenever you have a child on drugs or go to prison, it's depression, it's a terrible pain, and folks talk about you really bad when
Oh.
these type of things happen. And well, you didn't know what you was doing. I had all kinds of things said to me or about me, and but I continued. So it kept me encouraged, helping other people like me. We was up support each other. Then the next thing we did, there was no one to show me what to do, so I had to just pray and be creative and learn what to do all by myself because I didn't have
Hmm.
anyone to teach me anything. And then years later, one of the professors from IUPUI, he says, "So you need to go to school because of all the things that you are creating. Someone else will take this because you haven't gone to school." So I mean, I was thinking they would anyway.
Hmm.
I did. I
That's
started. I went to Christian school. I became a licensed ordained minister.
okay.
So it was a ministry.
Okay, yeah.
We would have the families. I went to Department of Correction. I introduced myself, met Ed Cohen, told them what I wanted to do. And my husband's mother had passed and she left him a house. So we borrowed money from her house. We bought a school bus. And
Oh.
then after we drove the school bus for a few years, then my husband bought about 4 or 5 vans. And again, for 19 years, because we didn't have the money, I didn't know anything about raising money or anything. I just did the driving and used my own money for 19.
Mm. Oh my.
So like I said, it was peace, it was healing for me and healing for the other families. As I would get on the bus, we were able to communicate, network, support each other. Then I started a women's retreat.
Okay.
I was taking the mothers, the wives home in the evening time. Back in the 90s, they had night visits, and I was taking them home and the children. So I saw my mother. When you're poor, you don't get a chance to take a vacation.
No.
You don't know anything about nothing except the environment that you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So my husband had bought me a timeshare French Lick. So I asked some of the mothers and the wives that I felt comfortable with, would you like to go away for a weekend? And they all said yes. And there's no charge. So I began to take them to French Lick, and I had a couple of friends who were professional people, and they would come and talk with us for the weekend. And we bought the food and different things. So we started the retreat, and we continued to drive and take them to all the prisons in the state of Indiana. So we would drive 12 hours.
Ooh.
Yes, to Michigan.
Round trip, 12 hours round trip.
Yes, a round trip. We would stop so that the families, if they were diabetic or anything, they could stop or eat something on before they would get there. There was
Uh-huh.
some that would smoke, because I would ask them not to smoke on the bus, not to eat on the bus. So we have a few little rules that we wanted
I was
people,
gonna ask you what the rules were.
no eating and drinking, no smoking. And they had to follow the policies of the Department of Correction. And if they did not follow those policies or got on in there with any drugs, I let them know, you would never ride this shuttle bus again, because we're going to follow these rules and these policies. So we've never, out of the 36 years, had any problems. We've driven over 700,000 miles without a breakdown, without an accident, without a
Jeez.
complaint from Department of Correction or any of the families for over 700,000 miles. We've
Mm.
serviced over 100,000 people, because these
What?
families, yes, they come from all over the country. Because we,
100,000?
yes, we were working with the federal prison. So,
Okay.
federal prison have families all over the country. So
Okay.
we would pick the families up at the either Greyhound or the airport. We had one lady come in from Australia. We picked her
Hmm.
at the airport. I had some partnerships where the families that was coming out of state, they could stay there at the hotel for free. And then I would take them to the federal prison for them to visit all day, and then we would bring them back and we'd take them to the airport. So then we've taken
Wow.
to Oklahoma to visit their loved ones. So yeah, we've done a little over 100,000 families with no accidents, no breakdown, and no complaints.
Okay, so this is you and your husband doing this?
Yes.
And you guys are still doing it today?
We are. Yes, it's been a little bit slower because we have a vision to expand our services and put a bus in Fort Wayne, a bus in Evansville, and a bus in Terre Haute. Because what people don't understand, the people who are incarcerated are from all over the state of Indiana. The
Okay.
23,000 that you mentioned, they're
Yes.
not just from Indianapolis. They're
Right.
from Fort Wayne, all 92 counties. Let me just say that all 92 counties. That's where they're from. So Fort Wayne has it. Mary County has the highest people from who are incarcerated. Then Fort Wayne is next. They have like 2,000 people who are incarcerated from Fort Wayne, and
Mm-hmm.
Evansville may have about 1,500. So those families in these other counties have families all over the state of Indiana who are in prison.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this Tuesday, as a matter of fact, I'm driving to Fort Wayne to pick up a mother to go see her son in Plainfield.
Wow. So you're
So
going back up, then back down, then back up, then back down.
exactly.
And
Yeah.
you wait a minute. So who's funding this? I mean,
We have funded the majority of this ourselves, and we years ago we had gotten a few grants, but because I didn't know how to write grants, that has been a big problem. I know we have dinners and we have um, fundraising events, but most of this we have funded ourselves, and every now and then I've gotten a few grants and deals. We've tried to work and partner with Department of Correction and funding, but that hasn't happened yet. So I am hoping to build a partnership with Eastern Star and
Hmm.
help and get a partnership that we can begin to raise more funds to buy the buses, because I need at least $3 million to put buses in those other counties. Because the reason I want a bus is because we want to educate the families. We want TV monitors on the bus to educate the families, because most of us, we have no idea that 80% of folks who are incarcerated is because of their drug addiction or
Hmm.
mental health. Those are
Right.
statistics. And it takes the families to understand, and low income families are people who really, we just don't get out into the community the way someone who's working in an organization. They know they have to get out there, they have to market, they have to do all these things. Low income families like me and my mother, we wasn't out here. We didn't know what was going on. I knew nothing about prison, period. Never been in trouble a day in my life.
Hmm.
So it's we want to train, we want to educate the families with TV monitors on the bus.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. So you were saying that you worked at Indiana Bell.
Yes,
N-
yeah,
n-
AT&T.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. So you did that, and what are you doing now? I mean, because
Well,
if you're funding this out of pocket, you still working somewhere, right?
yes, I'm not. I'm just doing this full time in prayer. And I went to fundraising schools, so I send out appeal letters to different individuals, different organizations, and we have a dinner, which is a fundraising dinner, and we'll raise about $18,000 in a dinner. This year we honored Bob Ostley, we honored Pastor Jeffrey Johnson, we've honored Senator Greg Porter, and we honored Mayor Deb Whitfield. So we bring in different honored guests, and we we raise sell tickets for our dinner, and we do
Hmm.
all of these things at IV Tech. So that's one of our fundraising events.
I see. Okay, that's pretty smart. I just so when you say the buses, let me go back there too. What type of buses are we talking about? Because I know the ones at Indigo, those hold like 50 to 60 people. Are you talking about something that big, or are you talking about like the smaller, short buses that
Well,
could just
ours
scoot?
is more like the open door.
Okay, yeah, the smaller ones.
Yes, 10 to we have a bus now. I wrote a grant years ago, and Eastern Star helped me to get that bus. We have an 18 passenger bus, and we always make sure we have wheelchair lifts, because some
I
of
was
my
gonna ask that.
yep, we have wheelchair lifts on the bus. We had 3 buses. We had a gentleman and his wife, they gave us 90,000. So they helped
Okay.
the first bus. And then I wrote a grant, a 5310 grant through um, Bryant Jones. And we got 2 buses, and Eastern Star did the match for us to get the bus.
Oh,
Yeah, because we had
oh.
to come up with the match. So Eastern Star has been a big support for us to raise money.
So they matched you at 90,000?
No, the 90,000, the guy paid for that. But the
Okay.
buses, which were 5310s through the Indiana Department of Transportation, Bryant Jones,
Uh-huh.
we had to get a match, which was like 2015 to $20,000. And each
Okay.
would match that to help us. So we have 1 bus left, because we used the miles. Like I said, we've driven over 700,000 miles. So we have an 18 passenger bus right now with the wheelchair lift. So my vision as I'm talking is to raise the funds and the awareness that this is a need. Research. I have research to prove that visitation reduces the recidivism rate. Just 1 visit will reduce
Yeah.
recidivism rate 13%. And PUI did a research and went 10 years back for the Use What You Got. I now have the documentation where our recidivism rate was 27% lower than the whole Marion County. So
Mm.
saved the taxpayers millions of dollars. And I didn't know that I was doing that. But they asked me if I had any documentations, because when families ride, we get their names, their information, the person they're visiting, the DOC. And I learned that because I'm a member of an organization called INCOS, It's a statewide transportation organization in cost. And I'm also a member of community transportation. And so they told us, I had to keep certain records. And so
Mm-hmm.
I did the research and found out that we had reduced the recidivism rate 27% lower than the whole Marion County.
Mm.
We were very
Okay.
impressed to learn that.
Yeah, that's a nice jewel there to help out. And just for the people who don't know, recidivism is basically repeat offenders doing the same thing again, going back to jail. So if you help reduce that, can you explain to me again, how does a visit help people keep from recidivating? What does it do?
Well, number one, the power of touch reduces violence.
True.
And so when you know that someone is care about you, it gives you the incentive that you're going to try to do your best, not to
Mm-hmm.
go back. And so the research, I have two research to prove that that visit reduces that. It just gives them incentive that someone out here in the community care about me. My mom, my wife, I had one lady, she wrote 25 years to visit her husband. And
25 years.
25 years. And now he's out. He haven't been in any trouble. He has his own business and
Whoa.
one excellent. If you go to our website, I think there's another couple that she rode 10 years with us, and he's out because she was there for him,
Mm-hmm.
children. So it gives people that they need to know that someone care about them. We all that touch, everybody needs to know someone care. So that reduces a lot of unless they have a mental problem or if they have a serious drug problem. But the
Yeah,
majority of the folks that's just there because they've made a few mistakes, if they got someone to love them, they don't go back.
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Wow, man, I didn't even know that. That's a positive side effect, huh?
Well, the power of touch, most people don't know that touch reduces stress. You can research it. Touch reduces violence. Touch reduces heart problems, blood pressure problems. Just holding someone's hand, you give
Mm-hmm.
a hug. That touch will bring healing that nothing else can do for them. So I researched it years and years ago, and WFYI rode the bus with us, and they talked about me sharing about the power of touch. That's why
Mm-hmm.
video visits and telephone visits do not cause you to be healed the way a face-to-face touch will do for a person. Blood pressure problem, cognitive, your thinking, it all changes because of just a touch,
Mm.
healing touch. So people really need to understand why it is so important to go and visit and touch your loved one. Just hold that person's hand. One hug. You can only hug once now, but years ago you could hold them and hug them. And that's why our recidivism rate was 27% lower than the whole Marion County. So
Mm-hmm.
IUPUI did the research, and I have their documentation from IUPUI that I've been sharing with a lot of people. And I can share that with you anytime you would like it.
Oh, that is amazing.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that I didn't know the process of what happens when you go visit someone incarcerated. I didn't know they would allow you to touch. I thought it was like I didn't know. I thought like you sit on this side of the table and he stays over there and maybe they handcuff you to the table or something. I don't know.
No, well, now it's a little different since the COVID. Things changed since the COVID. But
Okay.
but before then, when my son was in prison and your wife would go, your children, you could hold your children, you could
Right.
hug them and everything. So unless they are a no touch or they have gotten in trouble, then they might be behind the glass or something like that. But if
Mm-hmm.
they have done no problem, haven't had any problems in there, yes, you could hold their hands, you could hug them and everything. Yes. Take
They,
pictures.
they, they allow you to kiss them too, like a husband kiss a wife.
Hmm. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I did
So
not know that.
Yeah, so that's what it was like. You could eat with them, like I said, but after the COVID, things have changed a little bit, different, a little bit, a whole lot more. But
Hmm.
before the COVID, you could eat sandwiches with them, laugh and talk. The children be playing and running around. The fathers holding the kids.
Nice.
Yeah. So
So so you can bring food to the incarcerated people as well?
they have a vending machine, vending with food in.
Oh, of course. They got to make money off you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So so what about the what's the process of going in there with you? So if you're taking a family, what do you do while they're visiting their family?
Well, I would just go to a restaurant and because I started school, so they would visit for 2 hours, and there's always a restaurant maybe 5 minutes from the prisons or 10 minutes, and I would just go there and do my homework.
Okay.
And that was mainly, and my driver now, we either have something that we do for 2 hours, and then we go back and we pick them up. Now, if we take them to Branch, Michigan City, they on the way home, we usually stop because some of the people smoke. So we stop so they can smoke. Some are diabetics or heart problems, so they need to
Right.
restroom or they need to eat something coming back. So we make 2 stops when we take those long trips to Michigan City or Tell City, um, or even Wabash. We'll make
Hmm.
a couple of stops for the families.
Yeah. So you said that is this free for the individual? They say, hey, I need to go see a family, pick a date, and then you just take them up there. They don't have to give you no donation, and they just
If
go.
they want to give a donation, they can, but we are working with so many hurting families. When you have a loved one incarcerated, we pay for collect calls, we pay for commissary. A lot of the families have paid lawyer fees, even though they still get sentenced to prison. And these mothers are out here raising these children by themselves, and they're out here paying the rent. Everything is on the mothers, and
Hmm.
they sending their loved ones who's incarcerated money. My son, I think one year he did 10 years. Well, we bought him a TV,
Uh-huh.
we had commissaries and clothes and different things like that. So the families are the one who really pay for the incarceration. Those
They
phone
do.
calls are not free. So
Hmm.
if they have it, they give us something. Now we would ask to go to Pendleton, it was $12. If you had
Okay.
to go
That's
to
not bad.
City, it was 12. That's round trip, $30. But
Jeez.
they said they didn't have it. I was out raising money. My mom gave me money. My sister gave me money. So, we raised, Eastern Star would give us money. So we were raising money other ways to pay for the gas, the insurance, the maintenance on the buses, other ways besides, because I didn't want to ever be the one, because I know how much it costs. So I didn't want to do anything to hinder families from being together. It's called keeping families connected. So
Mm.
they spend enough money without giving me money, without giving this ministry money.
Yeah.
So I had
So
to come up with other ways.
now, when you said you drive these individuals to these different destinations, is it like a full bus, or if you just got one person, we roll them with one, or how does that work?
COVID, we had a full bus all the time. We had between 15 to 20 people going.
Uh-huh.
It was like a Greyhound. They would call us and they said, when are you going to Michigan City and Westfield? Because we put those two together because they're both up north.
Yes.
We would tell them we're going to Michigan City and Westfield the first Saturdays. So everyone that wanted to go to Westfield and Michigan City would call and we would put them on those dates. Anyone who wanted to go to Branchville, we told them their dates. But after
Hmm.
COVID, things have gotten a little different because they didn't want it's everything changed really. So
Hmm.
right now we're still doing it because I'm believing that I'm gonna get these buses. So right now we may go with 2 or 3 people. Where
Okay.
for the COVID, we had a full bus. So right now it's a little bit less than the way it was before. But I know once I got a couple $1 million to put all my buses and put them in the different locations, then
Hmm.
what you do is call DOC and they will open it up for use what you got because they trust us. We have a reputation that's above reproach. We've never had a complaint. and we make sure our riders follow every rule. No phones, they don't make any, no, they don't do anything. So they trust us. So all
Hmm.
we do is make that phone call, and we'll be rolling again the way we.
Okay. And you said you guys didn't have any issue with the bus breaking down at all? Are you regularly maintenance in these, or how are you doing preventative on that?
Well, just like with your car, you take the vehicle in and have it serviced. So we were taking it in like we were supposed to
Uh,
every 2 or 3 months or however many miles, and then they would make sure things were going. If there was something major, it got fixed. So
hmm.
as long as you keep things, have a routine, I guess I should say, uh,
Yeah.
then you're good. And I think that's why DLC have trusted us, uh, because of the experience and never having a problem of anybody complaining or calling about us or a breakdown, accident. And our insurance, State Farm, they would tell you we've been doing this 36 years and never had a problem. But it's
That's
a lot of
amazing.
prayer. I'm going to be honest, it's been prayer.
Oh yeah, you got to have that and let things take place decently in order. So
Yes,
those will work out. Now I
yes.
know not too long ago there was a driver shortage in the US of A, and you had several vehicles. Did you have problems locating or attracting drivers?
No, our main driver who's been with us 15 years. I met her at North United Methodist Church, and she was driving for them. And the reason she has stayed with us, her son, he was in prison in 88, and she wasn't able to get to him. And he called her. He said, "Mom, I need you to come. I'm not feeling well. I need you to get here." And she couldn't find any transportation. We were just started. She didn't know anything about us. I didn't meet her until 2009. And
Hmm.
so her son died in prison.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And so with him dying in prison, because there was no transportation, and when North United Methodist introduced us, she has stuck with me through thick and thin. So I've never had, she has a CDL license. She goes through all the trainings through RTAP and in calls, the rodeo. She does all the trainings that needs to keep everything legal with us because we have our DOT number, our number.
Okay, yeah, get all that data. Well, was it non-hire, not for hire, and the DOT and something else?
Yeah, we have all those things.
Okay. So, what other positions do you have, or what other positions do you need for your
Well,
organization?
I've got to raise some additional money, and
Okay.
I really need to raise money to hire a development director, someone who knows how to write grants. I
Mm-hmm.
really need that, and I also need a transportation coordinator.
Okay.
That transfer, because we want to expand before I get too old. I hope to see it happen, but hope
Yes.
Houston Star help will come alongside and make it happen too. But we want to expand the service, so I need that transportation coordinator that will coordinate everything, have the software, the route,
Mm-hmm.
all the software that you need for transportation, keeping up with who's riding, who's not riding, having TV monitors on there to educate the families. I'm now partnering with Salesforce, so they're help me to raise funds as well.
Yeah. They have all the software over there. They can pretty much do your whole. Wow, that's a good connect right there.
Yes, yes. They have sponsored our Christmas. We have a Christmas party.
Huh?
And so Salesforce sponsored our Christmas last year. They raised 4,000 for us last year, and this year they raised 16,000 for us.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Now,
So
are you working with any of the insurance MCEs like MedWise, Anthem, CareSource, MHS? Are you working with them at all?
well, CareSource, I'm on the email with CareSource. I get Ann sends me information every day. But my insurance company that insures us is with State Farm. Because
Hmm.
I was with them before I even started the ministry. So I just stayed with State Farm Insurance, Larry Bruce. And he was my very first board chair that helped me to even introduce me to Eastern Star. So I've just stayed with State Farm. That's who it
I
was.
see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, the reason I had asked about them because I know that and one of my many fields, I'm a licensed insurance agent as well, and I know they give out funding for things like that. You just have to reach out to them. They give you like $2,000 to $5,000. I mean, you just present your idea to them and say, some of your members are there, and this would be a great way to help them. Just say that stuff, and they love that. They'll put a free press in their literature and send out to their 700,000 members. So that's just something for you to think about. I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business, but
Yeah,
uh, that's
thank
something.
you.
Yeah, I would definitely reach out to them. The outreach team, all of them do it.
All the insurance companies.
Yeah, they do it. Yeah, they don't advertise it, but they
Oh,
definitely they have to do so much for the community. And this sounds like I mean, I'm really impressed with this, and I think they would jump on this, and then they'll put your name on like their T-shirts or something, and then it's just a great way to promote this needed feeling caveat in society. So I think that's something that you look in there.
oh, thank you. I'm definitely gonna do that.
Yeah. So my next question is, I know that sometimes family members in these situations, like you said, don't have, deep pockets and everything. What if a person wants to ride to see a loved one, but he doesn't have any money for, say, incidentals, food, or uh, maybe he don't have any clothes, shoes. Do you guys assist with that as well?
Well, if they ride with us, yes, we will try to help them. We will pay for their food when they go with us. And
Mm-hmm.
then I am a member of the Marion County Reentry Coalition.
Mm,
So I'm their founding member. When they first started back in, I think it was '08, I was one of their founding members. So I have a membership with Marion County Reentry. I have a membership with Offender Workforce Development Specialist
okay.
and the Indiana Chamber of Commerce, Prosperity Indiana. So I keep my membership dues up for any resources that I might need. CareSource, they have given us grant money before as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, I re
And what about Jesus House? Have you worked with them at all?
I have reached out to them and but I haven't I haven't because my main focus had been so much on transportation,
Hmm.
but I need to do that. I need more support and resources because
Yeah.
like I said, being the mother of an inmate and didn't know anything, I had no idea what I needed to do. So
Hmm.
that's why it's been so difficult too. Even though my reputation, 36 years, you still have to be able to raise money, market, and do all.
Right. Oh yeah. A
Yeah,
lot to it.
it is.
Um, yeah, I do hope that you do consider Jesus House too. I went and spoke with them the other day, and they do have a couple buses. But what they do, I don't know if you know it, but they work with individuals who are incarcerated, and when they get ready to get out, they give them a place to stay and the job, train, all that stuff. So if they're working with people incarcerated, then they definitely right up your alley because that's all they work with. You got to be incarcerated at that moment, and
Yeah,
I don't think they're really going up there like that. So that's another one that you ain't want to look into.
I will. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, you had mentioned also that when people are utilizing your services, you pretty much had a very low incident rate. What do you do? Give them like that pep talk that don't touch nothing, don't look at nothing, don't. What do you say to keep this to keep
Well,
this so smooth?
the first thing I have to tell you, I've always prayed.
Oh,
Before
oh yeah.
before the bus takes off, I pray. And the second thing, they sign a policy and it says no cell phones in the prisons, no drugs on the bus, no alcohol. If any of you ever get caught in that prison and you rode this shuttle bus and done anything, we will leave you.
What?
I tell him. I said, I got a son in prison. I have to follow rules. If you want to use this service, all I'm asking, do not disgrace this ministry. Do not, if you get in trouble while you rode this bus, I'm going to leave you right here. And then you have to find
Mm,
out how you're going to get back home. You're not riding.
yeah.
So I just put it up front. They signed this a policy, no drugs, no alcohol, no cell phones inside the prisons. They understand. They can't, no loud screaming, talking, no cussing. They
Hmm.
they can't do that. And
Yeah.
they signed their names, they dated. And if they want to give, they do. If they don't, they say, I don't have it. I said, fine. We'll figure out, we'll raise money another way. So,
Mm-hmm.
and they understand she doesn't, Miss Whitfield, and so I've never had any problems at all.
So would you really leave them though?
I think I would. I would because understand this is a ministry and your reputation, our reputation, I'm a mother, I'm an inmate's mother on top of that. Didn't go to school to do it. I can't afford to have a bad reputation. Well, she let
True.
you do whatever you want to do. No, I'm not going to let you do whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
We're doing this ministry. We're taking you there. We're waiting for you. We're taking you to eat. We're taking you on retreats. If you want to go to retreats, we have a Christmas party. We buy kid stuff for your kids. You're going to respect the ministry.
Mhm.
You're not going to embarrass us or our reputation that we're not, you're just not going to do it.
Gotta put some respect on your name. I understand that.
That your reputation is all we have.
Yeah.
That's all I.
Now that sounds like that would work. Obviously, the numbers back up that's working. So I commend you for that as well. Do you have any competition in this space now, or are you the only one still doing it?
Right now, we're still the only ones. And I've talked with Mr. Mears, Prosecutor Mears, and he said because of the experience, 36 years, um, they would support that type of experience and the reputation of
Mm-hmm.
nothing, no bad reputation, no breakdowns, no accidents, and no complaints. So yeah,
Yeah.
they're the only one, and hopefully, we can expand it to do even more with the TV monitors, with the state senators, Vanessa Summers, and different ones endorsing us. Bob Osley is President Bob Osley. He's my councilman because I live on 29th and Capitol. So he's my city councilman and
Mm-hmm.
he is everything I do. So
Okay.
our reputation we have to keep a good reputation.
Yeah. Um, so why should people use your service? I mean, what benefit is them? Is it just because it's economical, or they get to meet you, or what's their benefit?
Well, the people who use our service, the benefits is that we have a Christmas party for their children, and we do this at St. Richard's every year. The other benefit is we have a men's retreat for their husbands
Hmm.
when they are released, or if they ride with us, we do a men's retreat. We take them on a fishing trip to Sandusky, Ohio. We have a women's retreat, and everything is free. And we take
Whoa.
ladies to either French Lick or Patoka Lake, or we take them to Waycross. And then it's just knowing that you're getting where you want to go for safe. You're safe getting there, you're safe coming back, and you have a reputation of a mother who had an incarcerated son who not didn't just do this because she did it because she understand the need. I grew up in the projects. My father beat my mother. Uh,
Hmm.
so I do understand all of what they're going through. So it's not like I'm not walking in their shoes. My son still has a drug addiction problem
Oh no.
working with. So I'm now taking classes at Ivy Tech on substance abuse. So
Okay.
learning what I need to do as a mother, and I'm going to be teaching the families as they ride on the TV monitors what they need to do because no one told us that families need to be involved with helping their loved ones and what they
Mm-hmm.
do on what triggers them. What are what's the triggers or the impulses, the environment, all those things that cause people to get on drugs, the violence, the neighborhoods, the
Yeah.
so that's one of the reasons that they would use our service, our reputation, and the other things that we offer that we want to start offering to have healing on the bus. Uh,
Oh yeah.
Different learning how to breathe and how to cope with what we go through.
Yeah. So when you're riding up there, you guys use that opportunity to inculcate positive things into the riders, maybe biblical information as well as helpful community information as well.
Yeah. Yes,
Oh.
and then we have a dinner, so we always invite our riders to attend our dinner as a social network to teach them different other skills. When we have
Mm-hmm.
a Christmas party, we bring in vendors. Like this year, we had over 250 people at our Christmas party at St. Richard's. We had IV Tech, and we got the adults over there who wanted to sign up for school. We had Goodwill, New Beginnings, anyone looking for a job, they were there. We had teamwork. Anyone who had teenagers and they wanted to get their teenagers involved with something else, teamwork was there. And then we had C1 Change, which is a licensed clinical social worker, and he works with the mental conditions or drug addictions and gave them different ideas. So we brought the resources to the families that brought
Mm-hmm.
their children to our Christmas party, and their children got gifts and things like that.
Yeah, I see. One other question about community partner. I'm always in the community field. Well, I told you I do a lot of stuff. Have you talked to fathers and families?
Yes,
Okay.
Mr. Larry Smith. Yes, he just was awarded $8 million.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, they got $8 million. Yeah, and
Yeah,
they got money to burn.
yes. So we are partners, we're members of the same church. We both are members of Eastern Star. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're working to build a little bit more of a closer partnership in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hope so, because you said you want to expand to other areas. I know that they're looking to hit South Bend and Fort Wayne. They want to definitely grow their presence there. So,
Yeah,
and partner with you is definitely a win-win for everybody on that as well.
yeah, absolutely.
Now you had said that did your son, he was facing 40 years. Did he have to do the full 40, or what's he doing now?
No, he has traumatic brain injury now.
Oh,
He was
oh,
in an accident, and the young lady that was driving ran into a concrete wall and killed herself.
oh.
And he was in the front seat asleep, and it
Hmm.
put him in the hospital for like 4 months. So now he has traumatic brain injury, but he's functional as long as he takes his medication. But
Okay.
he ended up doing a total of 17 years altogether.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, from a young age in 17.
So
Yeah.
he went back a couple of times, and he ended up because he was on drugs. See, most folks, like I said, are in prison has a drug addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just didn't know what to do. I didn't know about treatment centers because people don't tell us these things. And if
Right.
I've never been on drugs, did alcohol, smoke, or party.
Me either.
And
Yeah.
so I've never been around that environment. I don't know these things. So it's been a learning process even for me. And since
Mm-hmm.
I've learned things and I know how low income families think, we're not out here in the community. So we don't know what to do. So
Right.
that's the reason I wanted to share what I'm learning, and the Hickory Treatment Center and sober living. I didn't know.
Yes.
I just learned about
Yeah. Yeah.
I just learned it. And I've been
Mm-hmm.
30 some years and no one has shared those things with me. People
Yeah.
do not tell you anything.
I
But
know.
I had to go to school. I'm still at IV Tech. IV Tech is a block from my house, so I live at IV Tech.
I understand. That's smart. Yeah. Get that education. So
Yeah.
when your son experienced that situation when he first was incarcerated, how did that make you feel? Was
Oh
that,
my
did that come out of left field on you?
Yes, because I have a boy and a girl, and they both grew up in Speedway. When I first got married, we moved
Yeah.
to Speedway, and then we bought our first house in Eagle Creek. So I had made up my mind because I grew up in the projects. My kids were I had a job, my husband worked at Little's. They not gonna grow up like that. Well,
Mm.
I lost 50 pounds overnight. My mother
Ooh.
thought I was dying because everything I ate came up. I
Ooh,
couldn't
stressed out.
yeah, I couldn't believe that I had kept my kids in church. They had mom and a dad, never been around drugs. I didn't smoke, drink, party, none of that. Just go to
None of that. Yeah.
so I couldn't even understand what in the world. But um it was hard. It,
Mm-hmm.
the depression, the stress, and losing 50 pounds overnight was very hard for me to see him go through that.
Yeah.
And Mama, I didn't know I had a drug problem until I stole your clothes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Mm.
a lot of folks don't know they have problems. And he didn't know it until he stole my church clothes. And that's when he realized he had a drug addiction problem. So Hickory moved down the street from me. So we got him in Hickory for a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of treatment. So he went to VOA and they got him on medication. I didn't know any of these things.
Yeah.
I'm constantly learning. And I said, if I'm out here and I'm going to school and I'm memberships and different things, if I don't know it, families who are very low income, they don't know nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the reason I want to educate them while they're writing of
Oh yeah.
what they can do, the resources that they can reach out to, why they need to be part of what they need to do as a family when their family members have a drug problem, how they need to handle that, how they need to take care of themselves with the retreats that we offer the mothers.
Okay. Now, did you, um, what was your son's drug of choice?
Crack, cocaine.
That's what I was thinking, because that's probably during the 80s in.
Yeah, yeah, and I think they still, I don't know what he does, what he had been doing a couple of years ago, but yeah, crack and cocaine, I think are the main things.
Now, did you study up on those different type of drugs to see how to counteract with those and to deal with that? Because,
Yeah,
yeah,
because right now he was in VOA and they put him on this medication. I can't remember the name of it, but I didn't know that you could put people on medication to help them with their triggers or their
yeah,
substance.
yeah,
So,
you can, yeah, I think you get Suboxone or methadone.
mhm,
It's a lot of them. They got things out there.
they
So
do.
I worked in that field for a while too. So I've seen it. A lot of times people don't understand that when your loved one is using substances like that, it's like it's hard. It's almost you have to forgive them too, and you got to look. It's like you got to be a stronger person because you love them,
Yeah,
but you're frustrated with them. You don't want to push them away, but you said that hug makes a
yeah,
difference. That's a
yeah.
tough one. So yeah,
It's unconditional love and just knowing that they like in this class it says it's like a brain uh, they have a brain problem with their
yeah,
it's a disease, that's the word, a disease with them, just like
yeah.
diabetics or you got heart problems and different things. It's a disease, and a lot of the problems with some people is a generational thing, and people don't get into the generational curses that's been
Hmm.
passed down from the fathers and the mothers.
Oh yeah.
So all some of that stuff, like I go to Hickory and they're really feeling bad. And I said, some of that's been passed down to you.
Hmm.
And then
Yes.
it's the words that are spoken on over the lives of some of these people. You're gonna
Yeah.
it's like your father. You ain't no you know, because I work with some of these mothers and they talk terrible to these little kids.
Hmm.
I had this one little boy that I worked with, he was 17. The things his mother would say to him, and he had did a assault with two guns. So he was
Oh.
facing 30 years at 17. But
Mm.
we dug his history up and I got an attorney and we got him down. I think he's gonna do 4 years. But she would say some of the rudest, meanest, evil stuff to this little boy. He's 17 years old. And I could see what pushed him. He was
Hmm.
post-traumatic stress and he had trauma and he had
Hmm.
all kinds of stuff going on with him. So a lot of families, the mothers and the father, they don't know how to talk to their children.
Yeah. Well, they probably hurt too because
They are.
unfortunately we get a lot of our knowledge from watching our family members, mothers, fathers, and different things like that. And like my dad, his father wasn't in his life, so he did the best he could with what he
Yeah.
could, and I think each generation tries to do a little better. But I think when people have substance abuse issues, to me, it's like your brain has been rewired and then you put it back together. Now you're trying to get it back, and it's kind of hard to get it back. And sometimes we have to, extend some grace to those family members too. And I obviously see you're doing that as well.
Yeah.
So I commend you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I
go ahead.
well, and I do. I appreciate it, and I'm hoping that as people have listened and learning about the need, uh,
Yeah.
because not only if you keep people from going back to prison, a lot of people don't realize that we save the taxpayers. If you keep 46
Oh,
people
yeah.
back to prison, you save the taxpayers in Marion County $1.55 million. If you keep them from going from all over the state, it's over $300 million that was
Mm-hmm.
taxpayers. So there's a lot of advantage for keeping, even including the Bible saying when I was in prison, you visited me. So there's a lot of reason why you want to help families to help their loved ones because we are the hidden victims. We're the
Mm-hmm.
that no one thought.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
yeah.
Let me ask you this. Is there anything that you know now that you wish you would have known in the beginning of beginning this venture?
Um, Everything actually, because if I had known that I was gonna have to learn all of this and that no one was gonna want to come alongside because I was a mother, I wasn't a professional person with the masters of, I probably wouldn't have done it
Mm,
because I had a good job and I was on my job 28 years. But I thought, okay, this is new. I'm in books, I'm in magazines. They will come and just help and take it, those educated people, but it has not happened that way. So
mm-hmm.
I would go to school and make sure that you think about it before you jump out there because you got a great idea and know exactly what you're doing. I would, research and make sure you understand the insurance and all the legal things that you need to know when you're running anything, and that people are not going to all come and be in your corner just
Right.
because you're doing something that's different. They're not going to do it. And if you're not
Yeah.
even smart, they definitely not going to do it. So
Yeah.
I've learned a lot.
Okay. Well, I was thinking about something what Alicia Keys once said. She said everybody said she was an overnight sensation, but she said, I don't look at it like that. She was like, there was a lot of nights I was playing the piano, missing the prom, didn't go out, just working. So people really don't see all the legwork you put in until it's successful. Now everybody like, oh my God, you just so luck. No, it wasn't no luck to this. It was hard work,
Absolutely.
grinding.
Absolutely. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I would tell people, please get your education and be ready to, like you just said, spend time
On
and
your
go
craft.
and because be it a problem solver for other people, it's a lot that
Hmm.
tells you about. So and get a
Yeah. Definitely. I definitely agree with that. You got to get in. That'll save a lot of time.
yeah.
How can the community help support you? How can they what can they do to help you?
Well, we're always looking for funds, donations. We have a website. It's www.usewhatyougotministry.org. And it's YOUVE without the apostrophe, just all one word, usewhatyougotministry.org. We are on Facebook under Use What You Got, and
Hmm.
we have a LinkedIn, but I don't,
Yep.
but it's all under Use What You Got. So all the donations, the funds would help us to expand our services for these hurting mothers and wives and children.
Hmm.
Now, they need to see their families, and we're also providing services to the juvenile correctional facilities.
Yes.
So we
Oh,
need as much to pay insurance, maintenance on the bus, drivers, because my driver, she drives, I had to pay her.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Office space, telephone. So we need donations, and we're looking for a grant writer that will come alongside. And so we have some needs. Development director, as I am getting older and I need a successor.
Mm.
So yeah, we need a lot.
Okay. And do you accept donations for clothing items as well too, or?
Not as much as the clothing, but just mainly, for Christmas time, yes. But during the rest of the time, we really don't have a lot of space for the clothes and those type of things.
Okay.
Mainly the funds.
Need the financial support. Okay. That
I
makes
need,
sense.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Well, Cecilia, thank you so much for sharing your life and your business with us and all the great things you've done. Also, we want to ask, what's your husband's name? We'll give him a shout out too.
James Whitfield.
James, well, we can't forget you, James. I see. I'm looking out for you, brother. All right. Okay. Well, I have to ask, is there anything you want to change, modify, or add before I give my final thoughts?
No, except that keep us in your prayers and that we will be able to expand our services with the help of everyone that's listening and want to make a donation. We are a nonprofit, and I am a mother who did not go to school to do it. And thank you for your kindness, your compassion, your consideration, and anything that you need, just go to our website and you should be able to find it all.
Absolutely. Thank
Thank
you.
you. This is excellent.
All right. Well, let me get my final thoughts before we get out of here. My final thoughts is this: the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. So if you can dream it, you can do it, according to Mr. Walt Disney. So always keep your face toward the sunshine, and the shadows will always fall behind you. Thank you to my guest, Miss Cecilia Whitfield, and her husband, James, um, and the ministry, Use What You've Got Ministry. Please see the links below of the information she provided for us so you guys can support her. She's doing some great work out there, so let's support her, okay? And please share and like my stories as often as you like. And if you have a story to tell and you want to reach out, hit me up at What's Up Aboard TV. So until next time, peace.
That would be so special, baby. Honey, I knew, 'cause I love you. Baby, you know, I know.
Everybody has a story to tell. We just want to know what's yours.